Opinion: you won't believe why Real Housewives star Candiace Dillard Bassett paused her child's birth. Every person approaches childbirth differently, and women should do whatever makes them comfortable. Of course, as usual, the Real Housewives of Potomac star Candiace Dillard Bassett took things to an extra level. On October 3rd, during the birth of her son Jet, the TV personality took extra steps to make sure she made a perfect first impression on her baby. Just as her little one was ready to make his big entrance, she paused the proceedings for 10 minutes so her face would look just right. My epidural had kicked in, I was 10 centimeters dilated, and my doctor comes and goes, "Okay, we're ready for you to push," she told people. And I said, "Well, if we're going to get started, I would like to put on my makeup because I need to give birth looking like something. I know we're going to be taking pictures right after, and I need to look right. My son isn't meeting me looking haggard like I just gave birth, and I can't be putting on makeup with my baby in my hands." Whatever you think of the reality star, you have to admire her commitment to being herself. Not many people would have been able to get their face on while in active labor. This seems like something you'd want to take care of before the pushing starts. So yes, between contractions and pushes while I was in labor, I was doing my makeup, she joked. I have pictures of it too. My doula was there, holding up a mirror and a ring light while I was getting my face right. I had pin curls in, so I was taking those out. And my doctor was so supportive. She was like, "Yes, let's do it." The one person who wasn't sold on the plan was her husband, Chris Bassett. Chris was just sitting there looking at me like, "This chick is so bougie." He was just shaking his head, Dillard Bassett said. "But make no mistake, if I could have had glam in there, I would have. It had to be this way." Her labor was induced a few days before delivery, but thankfully, everything went easy for her and Jet. And once she laid eyes on her baby boy, all the makeup didn't matter, because that's when the crying started. "I was so emotional, I don't think I even cared about the makeup at that point," she said. "Tears were rolling down my face, and I was just so in love with this little man." For the latest news, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. RHOP. Alum Candiace Dillard paused labor to put on makeup. My son isn't meeting me looking haggard. Candiace Dillard ensured she was looking her best as she entered motherhood. The Real Housewives of Potomac alum revealed she took a 10-minute break to apply some makeup before welcoming her son, Jet Marshall Lee, in the early hours of October 3rd. My epidural had kicked in, I was 10 centimeters dilated, and my doctor comes and goes, "Okay, we're ready for you to push," Dillard recalled during an interview with People published Friday. And I said, "Well, if we're going to get started, I would like to put my makeup on because I need to give birth looking like something," she continued. The former Bravo star, 37, said she knew they were going to be taking pictures right after, and she needed to look right. "My son isn't meeting me looking haggard like I just gave birth," she joked. "And I can't be putting on makeup with my baby in my hands." So yes, between contractions and pushes while I was in labor, I was doing my makeup, she added with a laugh. I have pictures of it too. Dillard said her doula held up a mirror and a ring light as she focused on doing her glam, with the doctor's approval, of course. I had pin curls in, so I was taking those out. And my doctor was so supportive. She was like, "Yes, let's do it." While her delivery team cheered her on, her husband, Chris Bassett, simply looked on in bewilderment. "Oh," Chris was just sitting there looking at me like, "This chick is so bougie." He was just shaking his head, Dillard teased. "But make no mistake, if I could have had glam in there, I would have. It had to be this way." However, Dillard said Bassett was super supportive once she was done and ready to push, massaging her feet and talking her through the process. "I was terrified when it was time to push, but after the first one, everyone was like, 'Oh my God, his head is already out,'" she recalled. "And they brought my hands down so I could feel his head, and I started crying because it was like, 'That's my son,'" she continued. "And then I pushed a second time, and Chris was like, 'He's almost out.' So again they brought my hands down because I wanted to pull him out, and I pushed like one more time he was there. I really was 2.5, 3 pushes. That's it." The reality TV star described her first time holding her son as magical and a moment she will never forget for the rest of her life. While Jed is the couple's first child together, the restaurant owner, 46, also has 3 children: Owen, 22, Mateo, 14, and Naya, 10, from 2 previous relationships. Dillard and Bassett wed in August 2018 after nearly 3 years of dating. She announced her pregnancy in April, 1 month after announcing her departure from RHOP. You won't believe why Candiace Dillard Bassett paused her labor, but trust, it's bold. Candiace, the former Miss United States 2013 and RHOP standout, welcomed her first child, son Jet Maxwell Lee Bassett, on October 3, 2024. Though fully dilated and ready to push, she told People that she requested a 10-minute makeup break mid-labor. My epidural had kicked in, I was 10 centimeters dilated, and I said, well, if we're going to get started, I would like to put my makeup on because I need to give birth looking like something. My son isn't meeting me looking haggard like I just gave birth. Wikipedia +14 people.com +14 the root +14. Yes, you read that right. Mid-contracting between pushes, she was doing her glam. Her doula helped hold up a mirror and ring light. She removed her pin curls and applied her makeup, with the doctor's full support. Candiace joked about how her husband, Chris Bassett, looked on, amused and bewildered. This chick is so bougie. Yahoo +4people.com +4 page, 6+4.
Why?
In true Bravo fashion, Candiace knew there'd be photos, and she wanted to look and feel her best in those first precious moments. After all, she joked, she didn't want to be holding her baby while looking worn out. People.com reality tea. For some, the scene conjures images from ROP's most dramatic closings. But for Candiace, this wasn't just spectacle, it was self-expression. It's a moment that speaks to the pressure women, especially those in the public eye, feel to maintain composure and a glam face, even under extreme circumstances. What followed? The birth itself was remarkably quick, just 2 to 3 pushes, and Jet arrived around 1:14 a.m. Yahoo +13people.com +13 reality T +13 the moment he was placed on her chest was pure magic, the golden hour, delayed cord clamping, tears, and cryingles. Yes, they folded one for her, made it unforgettable. Page 6 +3 people.com +3 reality T +3. In summary, Candiace Dillard Bassett hit the pause button during active labor to apply makeup, mid-contractions, so she could welcome her baby looking like something. Supported by her medical team and doula, and entertained by her husband, she turned her delivery room into a glam station. And hey, in her own words, why shouldn't a new mom get to feel fabulous in her first moments with her baby?